Welcome back to Boring Reviews. Nick here.
Gabe.
In Boring Land. We're going to check that out. But we're loving learning about cricket. They keep asking, when are you going to watch a match? And we're going to get to it. Keep telling us when they're available on a Hotstar. And when we're available, we're busy with the YouTube and our jobs and our families. We're going to get around to it because I am definitely invested and definitely interested in checking some of this out. I wasn't before we got into these videos. I've said it many times. I thought cricket was a little bit lame. That's because I didn't know anything about it. How many times do you talk to people and you say, oh, do you like this? No, it stinks. Well, you ever tried it before? No. I mean, come on.
And I think, bro, you can almost equate it that with almost any sport. I remember thinking, man, golf is garbage. I used to think to myself until I went golfing with my wife's father and her brother, and I was out there, and A, it's not easy. Golf is a tough sport, harder than you think to hit that ball that's not even moving, and B, it still takes a lot of athleticism. So I think that with all sports, just the level of athleticism it takes in order to do it, you know what I mean? Once you start appreciating it, you're like, man, these guys are serious athletes.
Well, and that's why I always chuckle. And, I don't really take it personal, but I get a little fired up when I read these comments that say, oh, cricket's way better than baseball. Baseball's brainless. Like, we are learning about cricket. We are not the experts on it. And we're getting excited about it because we can recognize that it's not an easy game and that there's some interesting, entertaining elements to it. But unless you actually know what baseball is, why are you going to badmouth baseball? Because you're doing the same exact thing that I would be doing if I came on here and said, oh, cricket's garbage, even though I know nothing about it.
Right.
It's like you said, it's what you get into. And I remember as a kid getting into baseball, like as a 15 or 16-year-old, I started watching on ESPN. Once you learn the rules, once you learn the history, once you learn the players, once you learn the teams, and you play it yourself, you find a whole new love, and I believe you can do that with any sport as long as you have that desire to want to learn about it. And once I learn about a sport, I get into it, and that's where I'm at right now. I love learning about a new sport when I have the time to do so. So we're checking out this Mitch Johnson video. It's called the Scariest Mitch Johnson video on YouTube. Not sure why it's scary.
Well, let's see how hard this guy throws, because that was kind of the synopsis of it.
Here we go.
Boring Reviews.
Bueller.
All right, here we go. I like the music.
Woo! That's why it's scary. Woo!
He's like, I know I hate it. Motion. I mean, that just looks like unnatural. That's a lonely walk away.
Obviously, one of the game's great fast bowlers. I think the raw skill.
Australia's got a serious team.
He broke his back.
Just love to bowl fast and take wickets and get those short balls up around batsmen's noses, and it's just a joy to watch.
The aura he brought in from his run-up to his action to just his presence at the crease, I think he brought a lot of intimidation to batters all around the world. I think he's done it better than most people.
And it's not just only the ball coming down, but once you hit it, he's coming down at you as well. So that's what I loved about Mitch.
Yeah, obviously his bowling feats over his career have been unbelievable, but that Ashes series, for him it was a sort of a comeback after a bit of a stint away with injury, and
pretty
that
amazing
series,
shape.
Everything just clicked.
He sawed it off. He called that sawing off
the
back.
fastest sustained bowling I've ever seen.
Barely reacted. Look at that face.
It's almost like trying to bunt.
Test. There's nothing he could do. He's swinging the ball, he's bowling fast, reversing the ball, quick bounces.
He had the pace, he had the consistency with line and length, and he just kept taking wickets. As if he could just throw in the ball at any stage, and you just know that he was going to get 1 or 2 wickets and get a breakthrough for you.
The crowd are with Johnson. This is like the days of Lillian Thompson. In comes
Great
Mitchell
angle
Johnson.
right here.
I remember that ball he knocked over Cook with that just nipped away.
Knocks him over with pace, real pace.
So it hits that wicket and they're out. Yeah. Did they swing and miss?
I just think he had such a purple patch for about a year or so leading up to that it was just all the planets just seemed to align at the right time for him. And that Ashes series, he just hit the ground running, started well, he was bowling fast, he was swinging the ball, he was strong, he was fit, and he just had a really good idea of what he was doing with the ball. He had just real ultimate clarity.
He's gone as well. Roots is out of there. Johnson, isn't he menacing today? They're never giving anything up. Never slip, what a catch!
To watch it unfold, the way it unfolded up and close was, exceptional.
Australia have beaten England by 5-0. The man of the series is Mitchell Johnson.
Did they say 5-0?
What a test career.
That's what I thought they said, yes.
Shut out.
Career and just what a great bloke.
Quite relaxed off the field. Cricket just seemed like something he did. It didn't consume his life, and just whenever he bowled, it was must-watch viewing. You felt like something was going to happen, so you just couldn't miss it. And he took me under his wing when I first came into the Test side. He's obviously like my big brother.
Just a super player, super bloke.
It's just great to just learn a lot from him as a left armer as well, and whether he thought so or not, he was definitely a mentor of mine. He was obviously the senior guy in the cartel, and we learned a fair bit off him, Mitch Stark and myself, and I think the one memory that I'll remember is carrying him off in that last test.
Season. Jeez. So I mean, I'm still a little confused by some of the rules, and I just, it's as simple as sitting down and actually reading it, which is all I'm gonna have to do. But the thing I love about that, the thing that's great about sports, and we talked about in our movie reviews when we're talking about the experience in the theater, is how the fans react. That's what makes a sport truly enjoyable. Because when you're a fan of somebody, or even if you're not a fan of someone, and someone does an amazing feat, and you have the explosion, the roar of the crowd, that makes it so much more huge than if we're just in the backyard and I do this amazing move. Nobody sees it. Nobody cares. But whoever did that video did a great job with the music and setting the stage. The editing was fantastic. I really enjoyed that video, so thanks for requesting it. But, I mean, this guy, I'm trying to be as authentic as possible.
As an adult, either catching my kids, but when I was playing, and dude, it hurts. When I tell you it hurts, it hurts. And you saw some of their players' reaction where they were kind of like bailing out to save their lives because they're coming, and then when it takes that wicked bounce, and instead of where they expect the ball to be, it's coming at you. You're trying to, you're making what we call a business decision. You know what I'm saying? And what I did get out of this video is that he's a nasty dude, bro. And I remember one of the most...
Now, explain what you mean by nasty, though, because they may not understand.
Or in baseball...
It's a baseball term.
Look up a guy named Randy Johnson. When you got a guy named Randy Johnson, he was a left-hander, big guy, like 6'2", 6'3".
Big unit.
The big unit, they called him. And this guy was nasty in a sense that he went out there to play baseball, and when he threw, he was throwing with such anger and such aggression. He intimidated other batters, and it was him. It wasn't you didn't even matter. It was him and the catcher, and if you were just standing in his way, basically, you were in the box, and if he had to hit you, he would hit you, but he's gonna throw his pitch. He wasn't gonna give in, and he threw some nasty pitches that a lot of times batters were like, "Oh man, it looks like it's gonna hit me," and now I gotta bail, and by the time it's actually a strike, and just his demeanor, he's very imposing. That's what I mean.
So nasty, not being that the guy himself was nasty,
no.
The kind of, we call it the English that was put on the ball, the movement of the ball, the placement of the ball, the fact that you have no chance of hitting that, and it could be in the ground, way behind you, in the worst spot possible, but when it comes in, it looks like a pretty good pitch to you, and it just moves. That's what he means by nasty.
Right, yeah.
So this guy's definitely got that nastiness too.
And imposing. You could tell every time he was up there, when he would pitch, just his mannerism, the windup he took when when he would ball, I should say. When he came and ran, when he released the ball, you know what I mean? We saw a little bit of that when we watched the Lagan video, where the guy would take the running start and then grunt, and they started picking up on the timing on that, right? Well, a lot of times you see these in Major League Baseball, you see pitchers when they're imposing like that they throw off the hitter, where you should be concerned about just hitting the ball, tracking it as it come in, and now you're kind of like making again business decision, which means you're more worried about getting hurt than you are about hitting the ball. And I tell you what, it's funny. I knew Australia was big into cricket as well. I didn't know how big, because it looks like it's a very big sport over there as well. And I know it's an international sport, much like soccer was. And I immersed myself in soccer once me and Savannah started dating before we got married, because her family, like I mentioned before, is soccer royalty. But as far as the international sport, I'm not sure which is bigger, soccer or cricket, but obviously cricket.
Soccer
really,
is,
really big.
I mean, soccer is a sport that's everywhere. Almost every country's got a team. Someone gave us a great comment where it said cricket is in, I don't know, maybe 20 or so countries where it's really big. Soccer is in like 100 or so. I mean, soccer is huge everywhere besides here in the States, but we still have a soccer team,
right?
In a soccer league. But anyways, great video. Mitch Johnson, man, that was incredible. Thanks again for the request. We want to do cricket videos once a week, so let us know which ones are the best ones. Maybe we'll do a poll, and we'll say what's the best or what's the next cricket video we should react to. But should we just call it like Cricket Tuesday or something like that?
Cricket Tuesday.
Every Tuesday we're going to release a cricket video, at least one every week.
Next one we were talking about planning on doing, I want to look for like the most dramatic cricket 6 runs, where guys are now
Sixers.
The Sixers. I love watching home runs in baseball. In cricket, again, it's a big part of the sport, and I tell you what, yeah, hitting them is fun, but the best part about it is just the theatrics after it. Somebody had mentioned that MS Dhoni, they call him like Mr. Finisher, or the best finisher in the sport or whatever. So we're going to check out some of those videos as well to see if we can find one where my man is, as we like to say, going yard. Do you actually know why they call it going yard in baseball?
Because they had to go out in the yard to try to find the ball? I have no idea.
No. A baseball... What do they call a baseball bat? What's another name for a baseball bat? A yardstick, right?
Puts me on the spot.
It's a yardstick. They call it a yardstick. Why? Because technically it's a yard, right? Give or take. Some people have them a little bigger than others, but normally it's just about a yard. So when you go yard, they call it going yard because you hit it with the baseball bat. It's a yardstick. I'm a big baseball nerd. He's like, dude, I never even heard of it. What are you talking about?
All right. But we hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share, and help Born Reviews grow as much as we would like to. Check out our Patreon page. We would really love some support there. And we got many more videos coming. But until next time.
He just hit a 6er.